Hi, my fellow YouTubers. Today, this video is dedicated to my Naked Neighbor Part 2. And this is a continuation of one of the videos that I'd done on my channel about my neighbor John. And everything's turned out okay with us. As you know, he came outside with half naked. He came outside with no pants and no underwear on, with it, his genitals showing. And this was supposedly due to him not being on his medication properly. Now, this is a man who is 69 years old. He is having he has heart complications, and for a little while he was in and out of the hospital due to heart complications and heart attacks and stuff like that. So he's been kind of on the brink of life. So he's on medication for that. This is he's single now. I don't know how many marriages he's been through. But I think he's been through at least one. He was married at least one time. 3 kids, 2 of them deceased. One of them, very sadly, his daughter, died, was murdered brutally by her drug-dealing boyfriend. Supposedly, she had a boyfriend who was a millionaire drug dealer overseas kind of thing, and she was not aware that he was dealing drugs. So when she found out, she tried to leave him, I think in a very kind of dramatic sort of scene is what I got from when he explained. And she had tried to physically leave him, and he got to running her over with his truck repeatedly until she died. And she was brutally and very unfortunately murdered. And then his other son had died not too long ago in Iraq. And this was the son that he was talking about, that he was off his medication, that his son died. This is the one that he was talking about. And I found out that he really did have a son that died. So I was very sorry to hear that from him. He does have another son that is still alive. But that's what, that's what happened to his kids. And I was very sorry to hear that when he told me of that. But we ended up, as I've said in the other videos, we ended up calling the cops on him. They didn't do anything to him. Thank God for him. They didn't arrest him or anything like that. They said they had no cause for arrest. But after that situation, he had ended up talking. Every time I would come outside and he was outside, he would, call me over and we'd have a friendly chat, a friendly conversation. And this was during the Christmas holidays. And he said, you know what, Cindy, he has a pistachio farm. And he said, you know what, Cindy, I really want to help you out this Christmas. I want to give you a Christmas gift. How does $1,000 sound? And of course I said, sure, that's great. Give it to me. Give me the money. So anyways, he ended up, what he was doing was over the holiday season, he would call me on my phone and say, come by, I have $150 for you. So I would come by, and he would say, go around to the back, and he would slip me the cash, $150, out of his sliding glass door. And he would say, here's, some money, go and spend it with your daughter, go have fun, have a great time. So I would take the money, and I would do what I want with it. I would go out with my daughter, we'd go shopping, whatever, blah, 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 blah. So this went on for another few weeks. He would just slip me cash. I would call him up and say, hey, I'm coming over, can you spot me some cash? And he would do so. And one day he called me and he was like, I'd like to spend some time with you. I really like you. Just come over and we can watch a movie, and I've got a bottle of champagne, and we'll split a bottle of champagne, and I'll give you the $150. So I did that, and he's a really nice guy. I would go over there, I would watch a movie with him, we'd have the champagne, he would have like a plate of hors d'oeuvres, ready for me, and we did that for another few weeks, to where I would just go over, I would hang out with him, spend some time, and he would give me the money, and that was it. So another few weeks went by of that, and he would start to tell me things on the phone like, I'm really lonely, I'm really, I haven't been with a woman in years, blah blah blah, yada yada yada. He'd try to slip that whole thing in there along with the money that he was giving me. So anyways, he did offer you know, to do some things that I wasn't agreeable to. Because this man, first of all, I'm 34 years old. This guy is 69 years old. He's way over, you know, the age of what I would normally date. He's not really my type for dating, but he tried to slip that in there, about us doing, you know, more sexual things in nature and stuff like that. And I told him, I was like, look, John, I have to decline. I can't, I'm not, you know, I thank you very much for you helping me out monetarily, but you know, I'm not going to be down to do all those kind of things that you want to do. And he was very nice about it, very understanding, surprisingly. We still continued to hang out. We still continued to, you know, watch movies and just hang out and talk and stuff like that. We did that for another few weeks, and he ended up giving me the full $1,000 as he had planned. After that, I think he got a girlfriend. I think he got some other lady to start coming over and, you know, start seeing him like that. But that's what happened with me and my neighbor. Everything ended up fine. He's a great guy, lonely kind of guy, a little bit crazy, a little bit off, especially when he's not on his medication. But that's the saga of what happened with my crazy neighbor. I wish him well. I still see him, you know, as I walk outside. Sometimes he'll be watering his plants. He has a garden. Sometimes he'll be feeding the birds. We still say hi. But that's basically it. So he ended up patching things up really well with me, which is really admirable. And that's it. That's basically it with my naked neighbor. He doesn't come outside naked anymore, which is a good thing. I think he learned his lesson. From having the cops called on him, and you know, just from not, I guess other people had called saying, you know, you can't be doing that kind of stuff. You have to watch yourself, and you have to make sure you're on your medication. So that's what happened with John. Be on the lookout for my other videos. So I have another video sort of series. It's called 20 Questions. And I just come up with some topics that I think are interesting and that I think people want to hear. And I just sort of elaborate on that. So be on the lookout for that video. And thank you very much for watching my Naked Neighbor Part 2. I love you all. Good night and God bless. Bye-bye.